Welcome to today's Future Talks. Today we're here with our good friend Nikola Yanev from 11 Ventures, Bulgaria. It's been some time. You're a good friend of the Cyprus tech and startup ecosystem. You've come here many times, and it's good to have you back. So
it's great to have you, to have me on the. Thank you for having me on the show.
There you go. So, Nikola, I would like us to start by talking about 11 Ventures. You guys are doing a lot in Bulgaria and the entire region around it. You've been investing in startups in Greece as well. You recently raised a new fund and are doing some incredible things. I was looking at your LinkedIn page and I saw something with a drone, a really big drone.
Yeah.
Looked amazing. So the stage is yours. Talk to us about 11 and then we can go on and talk about your visit in Cyprus and then the Bulgarian ecosystem.
Yeah, and why I'm so happy to have me here.
Yeah, always happy to have you here.
Yeah. So 11 is, for those of you who don't know, 11 is a venture capital fund which was founded back in 2012 and has been ever since investing in technology companies, predominantly in Southeast Europe and Central and Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
We are focusing on early stage companies. Our sweet spot is, so to say, pre-seed and seed companies.
Yeah.
And we want to be the first investor, the first, we say, partner in crime of tech founders in the region that we operate in. We are currently investing with our third fund, which we finalized the fundraising of and we announced 1 year ago, but we started investing with it since we started fundraising it. So we've basically have been investing with it from a warehouse vehicle for already 2 years with it. We have over, I would say, 20 investments with the third fund, and we are actively investing all over Central and Eastern Europe and Southeast Europe. As I said, this is a third fund. An important thing for us to note is that we are not a generalist fund.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the verticals actually.
Yeah, we are not a fund that invests in anything, anywhere, at any time. We are a fund which invests in 4 specific verticals, I would say 4.5. I'm going to tell you why.
What's a half one?
Yeah, 4.5 because we believe that, so first, during the years, for 11 years already, we gathered a lot of know-how, knowledge, experience in certain areas and certain fields. That's one part. Second part is that we believe that if we want to be as successful and as valuable as possible to early stage founders, we need to be able to bring more specific knowledge on the table. And we also believe that founders don't need a VC that would give them some generic advice, but someone who can dive deeper with them into their industry, their vertical, and their specific pain points related to where they are at the market and which market they are at. This is why we decided to focus on the 4 verticals and build deep silos, deep connections, networks, know-how, and all kinds of tools and resources specific for these verticals. And the 4 verticals are fintech, so everything related to financial technology, digitalization of banks, digitalization of these processes related to financial technology. Second is healthcare, so this is the cross-section of health and tech. So anything that has to do with biomedicine, anything that has to do with preventive care, anything that has to do with tech, basically well-being and humans feeling good and feeling healthy. We don't go into pharmaceuticals. We're just not good at that.
Yeah.
Tech is our part. The third one is the so-called future of work, which is everything that has to do with tools and products, enterprise software, SaaS, which is supporting companies, small and big, in running better organizations, basically. And the fourth one is what we call future food, but soon it will be sustainability.
Yeah.
And future food until now was everything that has to do with the food supply chain. Planning food, preparing food, before that growing food, distributing food, consuming food, etc. Again, cross-section with technology. And the half part of the vertical is a vertical that we've invested in many companies in this vertical, but we are not particularly, so to say, excited about and looking for into the future because it has intersections in many of the other verticals that we are looking at. And this is the so-called e-com tech. These are technologies, products, which enable e-commerce and e-commerce technologies, which, as you can imagine, pretty much overlap with some of the fintech elements and some of the fintech products that we're looking at.
So the other half is a synergy between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking various Cypriot startups or Cypriot founder startups I could pitch to you while you were saying it. So fintech, I was thinking of Plum and Hellas Direct. You told me you already met the founders. Healthcare, Kyriakos Eleftheriou, Terra, wearable API for wearables. He raised with Y Combinator. Area Health, which is blockchain for hospitals and clinics for data management. Let me think. So, future of work, we have Blend, which is software for shifts management, and Co for relationships management, professional relationships management. And for food, we actually have the Mighty Kitchen, which is launched the most amazing chicken nuggets, which is plant-based. And today they announced that they're expanding in Greece as well, in their supermarkets there. So lots of people to see there. And of course, this list is not exhaustive. We have more of those people you can see. So what are the ticket sizes? You said pre-seed and seed. What are the ticket sizes usually?
So we invest anywhere between 250,000 euro up to 1.5 million initial and up to 5 million including follow-ons. So 60% of our fund is reserved for follow-on investments. And this goes along with our belief and our desire for us to be longer with the companies. What we want to do is not do one investment, take our hands off the table and let the company be on their own and just venture out into the unknown. But what we want to do, we consider ourselves a very hands-on investor. We consider ourselves partners, as I said, in crime of the founders. And we consider our investment as a marriage with the founders. This is how serious we are about us investing in the company. And whenever we become an investor, we want to be active. I was giving this example and I was giving this idea of a process to someone else in the past days, but whenever we invest in a company, we dive deeper, we call that a deep dive process, in the matter of several weeks, into the whole heart of the company. So we try to dissect everything and to understand where the company currently stands according to competitors, according to the market, according to objectives, etc. What are the needs of the founders? What are the needs of the company? What are the goals and the objectives that together we will be pursuing? And we do something like a big map together with a roadmap of where the company is and where we want the company to be. And this is when we start using and utilizing what we call our platform, the 11 platform. And the 11 platform is a collection of all of our resources, knowledge, know-how, connections and acumen in different fields that we start mobilizing towards the companies in order for them to achieve the objectives and the roadmap that we've set out to do together. So the 60% that I mentioned as follow-ons go along with that because we want to be able to participate in the follow-on rounds of the companies. So if we've invested in pre-seed, we want to be an investor also in the seed, Series A, etc. as far as the money we have would get us to.
Yeah, that's very important actually. And in terms of geographical scope, as I mentioned before, I've noticed that you don't only invest in Bulgaria, you actually go in the region, you invested in Greece, you're considering of investing in Cyprus, hence my quick pitch before. So what is your geographical scope?
Yeah, so since day one, since the first fund back in 2012, 11 has been a, I would say, European investor. With the first fund, which was basically an accelerator that we've been running for the first 4 years, we've been investing, I would say, in more than 20 countries in Europe, in companies and teams from 20 countries. Currently, with our third fund, we are predominantly focusing, as I said, on Central and Eastern Europe and Southeast Europe. This means we have investments from Bulgaria, we have Romania, we have Greece, we have Slovenia, we have Serbia, we have teams from I think as well Germany, the Netherlands. It's pretty diverse, I would say, group of founders. But what is connecting all of them are either the four verticals or, geographic speaking, that they come from Central and Eastern Europe or Southeast Europe.
Yeah. And if we're going to talk about milestone, so far you've raised, I think, 60 million euro to date. And you have had some exits as well. I mean, by saying exits, we mean that some of the companies may have been acquired or have gone public in the stock exchange, which is every VC's ultimate target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So exactly. So tell us about your exits.
Yeah. So far we've had one exit that we're really proud of, which is of a company called SMS Bump. They exited in the beginning of 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, actually before the pandemic, and they were in the e-com tech space, hence our interest in e-com tech and everything that has to do with e-commerce technology. They sold to a US Israeli company called Yotpo. I think the deal was the number was public around the 30 to 40 million euro or US dollars. So this is the one exit that we're really proud of. Something that we're really happy with is that last year we actually got our first unicorn company, which happens to be Bulgarian, and we happen to be the first investor in the company back in 2018. And another curious fact is that this investment was done by us from our second fund, which was the smallest fund that we had, which was 6 million euro.
Nice.
And currently, one of these companies that we've invested in is worth over $1 billion, which is pretty cool for us.
It's actually amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to go in a short break. When we're back, we are actually going to talk more about the first unicorn and how the Bulgarian ecosystem has developed over the last decade or so. To become what is it today, very vibrant with a unicorn, good investment funds, and so forth. So we will be back after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Future Talks. Today, as I mentioned before, we are here with Nikola Yanev from 11 Ventures. In the first part of the episode, we talked about the fund that you raised 60 million, that you have had exits. One of them is the first Bulgarian unicorn, that you invest in 4.5 verticals, and that you are investing on a European level, not just at the local level, which makes you a European fund. And your tickets are focused on pre-seed and seed. So now let's talk about the origin, the Bulgarian ecosystem, because a lot has been happening there, a lot of good things. Greece have had their unicorn last year. You're having your unicorn this year. Maybe in Cyprus we will have a unicorn at some point in time. We have a lot of promising founders, so I'm hoping for that. So how did it all start? And when did the big change? Because there's always a tipping point. When was that tipping point for the ecosystem in Bulgaria?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I would say there were several pivotal moments for the development of the Bulgarian ecosystem. So everything began in a very, I would say, easy and natural way for the startup ecosystem in Bulgaria. And it began by several non-governmental organizations back in 2007-8 when they started operating, and they started understanding that there is a need for knowledge and places where people can gather. This is around the creation of Facebook, by the way, in the US. So they realized that there's a need for people to understand and to gather and to learn more about what we call the new wave of entrepreneurship. The new wave of the entrepreneurship at the time we were seeing as the American Western culture of tech companies and disrupting stuff and moving fast, breaking things, etc. And this is when these non-governmental organizations started organizing lectures with, at the time, tech entrepreneurs from the region, and they started basically trying to inspire and motivate people to start and to run their own tech company. And then slowly the first incubators out of that started appearing, because when you have inspired people that want to do things, you need people to support them, an environment to support them to build things. Then naturally...
Sorry, what year was that? The first incubators?
The first incubators, I would say it was around 2008, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then naturally, when you have the people together on one place, when you have people with ideas, a lot of people started thinking about, well, how do we fund all of that?
Yeah.
Then you had the first angel network come about by also what we call them old school entrepreneurs from industries which are old school in a way,
Yeah.
in the realm of the tech ecosystem, like let's say real estate or the industry or buildings, etc., in combination with people from the tech industry and software companies. And then you had, as I said, the Business Angels Network. And then at some point, which was the first pivotal moment, we had the first funds which were structured by the EAF with the Jeremy program, which were namely 11 and Launch Hub.
Yeah.
And this is the year 2012, where these funds appeared. And for the next 3 to 4 years, these funds were really actively investing in everything that has to do with tech and the new wave of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Not only in Bulgaria, but across the region. And of course, one of the requirements of the EAF was all of that to be concentrated in Bulgaria as an ecosystem. So companies needed to come, spend time in Bulgaria for the acceleration period. And at that time alone, I think 11 funded more than 120 companies alone. So Launch Hub had a similar number, or around 70. And you can imagine that around this buzz and around these things going on, you have other people come up with ideas and other people looking for funding and other funds coming up. And then another pivotal moment was when we had the first big tech exit for the country, which was the exit of Telerik software company, which was sold to Progress Software, acquired for over 270 million US dollars. And why was this important is two reasons. First, many people saw, many entrepreneurs, many founders, that it's actually possible to do and to make huge successful company starting from your small Eastern European country.
Yeah.
And this was huge inspiration for everyone and huge push to believe in themselves and to start acting and doing and building.
Yeah.
That's one part. The second part is that the founders of the company that was sold, Telerik, became very active angel investors and basically became the face and the proponents of this startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
Then I think each one individually as an angel invested in over 30 companies. There were, I think, 4 founders of the company. So you can imagine how big of a spillover effect that has. Another pivotal moment we had was when the Bulgarian government, together with the European Investment Fund, launched a funding scheme, Fund of Funds, which created another wave of funds, which were also investing across different stages of companies, all the way from acceleration stage to, let's say, Series A stage. So currently we have this variety of funds. And then one of the most recent milestones, which I would say was the final most recent one, was the first Bulgarian unicorn. So at this point, you not only have a startup ecosystem, you not only have people who build things, you not only have people who fund them, you not only have the first exit, but you also have the first billion-dollar company, which came out of your country. Which is another huge push in terms of inspiration and in terms of outside capital. More and more Western investors from Western Europe and from the States are looking into Bulgarian companies, which is, I would say, the top of the iceberg in terms of development of the ecosystem. Of course, the next point will be the second unicorn, third unicorn, and more giving back to the ecosystem and more money coming back from these founders which become successful.
That's actually amazing because your milestones were in track or very much aligned with the milestones of the Greek ecosystem. And it all goes back to the Jeremy funds. That's the big turning points when money comes in the country. So you have talent that is ready, money comes in, and then it just goes off. So you mentioned about having the second and the third unicorn, which I'm sure it will happen. So based on that, how would you describe, how do you expect the Bulgarian ecosystem, and the spillover effects expanding over the next period. I would say 3 years. I'm not going to say 5, because in startup years, that's a lot of time. So in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah. Several interesting things that are about to happen and have to happen in the upcoming years are the following. So first, we need to see the second raising of these governmental funds. So you had the fund of funds, which kicked off some of the newly created funds several years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And now what we're about to see is their second raising of funds, where there will be more private capital in the funds and less dependency on the government. And this is good, because you have to be able to mingle together and to combine public capital and private capital in a good way in order to fuel the growth of the tech founders.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Second thing, I would say, will be the emergence of the second and third unicorn companies. We already see some of these on the horizon, and we can already tell which might potentially be the ones. That's second. And third is potentially what we're looking at, maybe not in the next 2 or 3 years, but I would say 5 to 10 years horizon, is a unicorn exit for the country, which will bring even more capital and even more attention to the founders I wouldn't say only in Bulgaria, but the entire region. If you look what, let's say, UiPath did for the Romanian ecosystem, it's astonishing. It's amazing. And they are currently...
UiPath was from Romania. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing.
UiPath is a Romanian company, and they have some top-class investors there, and it's a publicly traded company currently.
Yeah, and it's world-class. I mean, it's world standards, what they're offering.
Absolutely. And the founders are one of the most active investors in Romania and one of the most active heroes of the Romanian ecosystem.
That's awesome, man. So, coming to the conclusion, I would like you to tell us the reason you're visiting Cyprus, and how any startups in Cyprus could connect to it or connect to you.
Yeah, 3 reasons why I'm currently visiting Cyprus. First reason is that, of course, we as a fund investing in Southeast Europe and Central and Eastern Europe and having Greek investments and not currently having Cypriot investments, we are eager to understand and eager to learn more about the Cypriot ecosystem and eager to actually do our first Cypriot investment. This is one thing, and I'm here basically to try and explore more and try to understand more how the ecosystem works, try and explore more of what do you need, what is the value that founders here need, because I really believe that approach to different industries, different markets, different people, different companies is completely different.
Yeah.
And each one of them has their own specificities. I'm here to basically understand how the Cypriot ecosystem works. That's one. The second part is that at 11, we are running a collaboration program together with Visa, called Visa Innovation Program, which we started back in 2018, I would say, which, by the way, Payhawk, the first unicorn, was part of.
And my friend Marita is actually working on Payhawk. She's heading the people operations.
Yeah. That's cool as well. Visa Innovation Program has been running for 4 years. It started from Bulgaria and operating in Turkey and Greece. And currently, this year, it's a 5th season. The program is actually present in 4 different countries. Yeah. Cyprus is included. Italy, Spain, Portugal as well. And what basically the Visa Innovation Program is we are fast-tracking fintechs to start pilot collaborations and proof of concept collaborations with the clients and the network of Visa, meaning merchants, meaning banks. Because normally, fintech and financial industry generally is a pretty heavy industry. And getting into the market, getting clients, getting in front of the eyeballs of your customers takes a lot of time, takes north of 6 months. What we want to do is to shorten that period in which your fintech gets into pilot collaboration testing and potentially a bank customer or merchant customer or a big company as a customer. Awesome. That's the second reason we are exploring, and basically the Visa Innovation Program is open for Cyprus. And the third reason is because I love the hospitality and the hospitability of the Cypriot people.
I'm glad to hear that. Have you visited Taverna yet? Tavern?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yes.
Welcome to Cyprus.
Thank you.
So if someone who's watching us right now, a founder, wants to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Feel free to add me on LinkedIn as Nikola Yanev. I'm also pretty active on Instagram with Nik Yanev. Feel free to message me there if you want me to check your pitch deck or to support you in any way in your fundraising process or to advise you with some ideas, who to approach to, what to change, etc. I'll be more than welcome to do that. That's basically my job.
That's awesome. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
And the next time you're in Cyprus, maybe we should organize an event for the ecosystem to meet them better. So thank you for watching as well. After this episode, we're responsibly going to have some sheftalia, the Cypriot food. So we'll be in touch in the next episode and also in the future episodes when you visit back in Cyprus. Thank you for watching.